Is there ever consideration taken into any of this for the risk of suicide? I mean, you're talking about someone who is very, very high strung. Typically a lot of it does happen. We can't say it does not happen, but narcissists don't tend to do that on a high percentage level, but some do when they're really pushed into the corner. And I'd say he's being very much pushed into the corner. Basically, his whole legacy, his whole life, everything is tumbling down. Diddy is not going to be remembered for what he has done musically over the last 3 decades. He's going to be remembered for this at the end of the day. This is what history is going to know him for. And I'm sure he probably knows that too. And his friends and everybody walking away, running away. I would think that the risk is up there for something like that to happen. And is there an interest in going and getting him sooner rather than later? As you know, this pile, this mountain of crap just continues to rise, and it will just continue to rise.
So they can only go at the tempo and pace that they can execute all these things. So they
Yeah.
can't rush that. So that's on the one side. On the Diddy side with the legacy and the suicide, um, you said very powerful things there about this is what he will be known for.
Hmm.
I'm going to add one little caveat to that.
Yeah.
That's what he'll be known for today. But and we've seen it with people that had these aha life epiphanies where, I mean, think so let's just let's play this hypothetical tape forward. Diddy all of a sudden has this aha epiphany and he owns it all.
Hmm.
And he says, you know what? Oh my God. I have just realized I'm the most horrendous person on the face of this planet, and I've damaged so much. I need to go to jail. I need to serve my time, and I'm going to do all I can to serve not just all those I've injured and all I've hurt, but I'm going to create with whatever I have left of a foundation and throw all my weight behind ensuring that this never happens again to another human being. And he spends the rest of his days doing that and creating music and doing things for charity fundraisers and never takes a dime for all those things. And he continually owns his behavior with transparency, openness, vulnerability, and he serves for the rest of his days. That will be a different thing had he do if he does those
Yeah.
things. And so see what I mean? So yes, his legacy, if he's taken down today and doesn't own it,
Hmm.
will be exactly as we're seeing it today. But we can never project what's inside of a human being. I will say this: if if any human being can save themselves from their own path of destruction and they can do those behaviors, a great day's ahead. I think if he gets clean and sober, if he's not already, that there's a chance there. But if he's not clean and sober, you're right. The probability and potentiality of a potential suicide or self-harm or not owning it and being remembered as a horrendous human being is really high.
Yeah.
Because with chemical imbalances in the brain, we do really stupid things and it prevents us from the healthy behaviors that can move us forward. And I mean, when you think about the impact he has and the reach he has, the amount of good he could do, he could do a lot of great good. It won't ever undo the horrendous things he's done or potentially done or being claimed to know, whatever. But he could make a dent and live a very, very wholesome, productive life for others. But time will tell, won't it?
Time will tell. My question with that being, to go a little deeper on it, is if he were to do that, would it be coming from a place of genuine good, of this is, I truly want to do good, or I truly need to do this to rescue my image. I need to do this so people look at me in this certain light, not just I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, but I'm doing this more because it's still all about me, still all about my image. And at the end of the day, if it's still all about him, but he does good, then good. Whatever. That's all in his mind and how he's being perceived. But I would question that for someone who's lived a life like this thus far. He's into his, I believe, 50s now. Um, you know, is there going to be that sort of a psychological shift? Can there be that sort of a psychological shift if you've already been this kind of neurotic madman for all of these years. Is that going to be an authentic shift? And I mean, does it really matter if it's authentic?
There's one true test. That
Yeah.
there's to me, there's only one way to really assess that.
Yeah.
Is one, uh, is you must suffer. This is not going to be painless.
Yeah.
And the other really big test in this, Tony, I think that you can see if there's a genuineness and sincerity and where it's coming from is, does he have an ask?
Yeah.
No, in other words, is he begging? Is he asking for forgiveness? That is so you're doing it because you want something. If he just does the act,
Hmm.
shuts his mouth, and just acts on the behalf of others
Hmm.
and suffers and owns it, that is someone who actually gets it.
Hmm.
But it's a very painful journey that he'd have to go through. What do I think the likelihood of that is? Low. It's
Yeah.
very low. These things don't happen every day. It's why when they do happen, they do make us inspired, because when people, and we've seen it. These are people that become the most inspirational people that have ever come across we've come across in history,
Hmm.
because they have fallen so far that they crash when they hit the bottom, and in all our minds they think that person should have been dead and destroyed. But all of a sudden they do these amazing things, and they never. So here's the thing: is the ask, he cannot draw attention to himself
That's the thing.
and it's for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's a very challenging, tough ask. And then maybe in the final year of his life, when someone finally decides that we need to interview him to see what it was that changed him, and he humbly presents all the things, only when asked, what he did for others without an ask, without a gain. Um, Again, so as you see, Robin always is the glass half full
Hmm.
of, there's always a possibility of great things happening. What do I think the likelihood is? Well, let's just look at history. How often does this happen?
I'm running through my mind. I'm trying to think of someone who's fallen with such a horrible thud for doing such horrible things and found a way back up.
I'm
Um,
I wish I could remember who this was. I just read it in a book, and it was literally a very similar case where they fell so far, and they were accused. I'll try to. I can't. I'm horrible on remembering this name, but it was in one of the books I just read, and he spent literally the rest of his days doing just what I described. I mean, I don't make
yeah,
this stuff up when I come
yeah,
up with these
yeah,
ideas.
yeah.
I literally read it someplace, and he literally did this for the rest of his days, and he was never remembered until one historian looked back and said, "Whatever happened to this guy?"
Hmm.
And all of a sudden they said, "Oh my gosh, look what he wound up doing."
Yeah.
He spent the rest, he was convicted of this thing when he was in his 20s, and then spent the next 60 years of his life doing these amazing things for others,
Hmm.
and we had no idea.
It's gonna be interesting. Again,
I think it's going to happen. No.
no, no. But if it did, we'd have one to talk about then, and that may inspire other horrible people to go and do good things. I don't know. Who knows?
But you know what? And here's what this is. And this is a roadmap of redemption for anyone. Hey,
Mhm.
no one's perfect. We all have things we have done that we wish we didn't do it a certain way, and there's a way that we can get move through it.
Yeah.
Own it, be transparent, be open, and do all you can for service of others with no ask for self.
Hmm.
If people then become inspired to join you and be with you on your path, then it's their choice.
Yeah.
And that's what we can all do for each other and ourselves.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.